A few years ago, artificial intelligence was something you used to get things done. Today, it's something people talk to. Not to ask questions, but to be heard. There's a small white pendant you can wear around your neck. It has no screen, no speaker, and no obvious purpose at first glance. Just a microphone and a soft glow. It's called Friend, and it isn't marketed as a gadget or an assistant. It's marketed as something far more personal. An AI companion, a friend that listens without judgment and is always there when you need it. In a world where loneliness is becoming increasingly common, that promise can feel quietly reassuring. But this story isn't really about a necklace. It's about what happens when technology stops presenting itself as a tool and starts positioning itself as companionship. Because once artificial intelligence is framed as something emotional rather than functional, the relationship between humans and machines begins to change in ways we're only starting to understand. The idea behind Friend comes from its founder, Avi Schiffman, a young tech entrepreneur who became widely known during the COVID-19 pandemic after building a widely used coronavirus tracking website. That early success brought sudden visibility, pressure, and controversy, but it also shaped how he thought about technology. In later interviews, Schiffman described periods of intense isolation and loneliness, particularly while traveling alone, which led him to rethink what technology should provide. Instead of efficiency or productivity, he wanted something emotional, something that felt like presence rather than performance. Technically, the device itself is simple. It records your voice, sends the audio to the cloud, processes it using a large language model, and responds with text messages on your phone. There's no awareness involved, no understanding, and no emotional comprehension. The system doesn't know who you are or how you feel. What's most revealing about Friend is what it deliberately doesn't do. It doesn't focus on productivity. It doesn't help you manage tasks or optimize your day. That's not a flaw. It's the design. The entire product is built around emotional engagement, because emotional engagement keeps people interacting longer. And longer interaction means more value. Unlike a human friend, the system never challenges you, never meaningfully disagrees, and never steps back when it should. That tension became visible when Friend launched its advertising campaign in New York City. Subway posters promised loyalty, availability, and emotional presence, using language normally reserved for human relationships. The public response was immediate. Commuters defaced the ads with messages like "AI is not your friend" and "Get real friends." And images of the vandalized posters spread rapidly online. The backlash wasn't about the necklace, it was about what it symbolized. Early users described experiences that were not catastrophic, but unsettling. Messages arrived at awkward times. Responses felt intrusive during emotional moments. Some reviewers described the device as needy rather than supportive. These stories reflect a broader pattern that mental health researchers and journalists have begun documenting. People turning to AI first instead of last, confiding in systems before talking to other humans, and slowly losing tolerance for the imperfections of real relationships. Recent investigations have highlighted cases where AI responses failed during sensitive emotional moments, not because the systems were malicious, but because they lack accountability. There's also the issue of privacy, which often fades into the background when emotional comfort is involved. Human conversations are fleeting. They're shaped by memory and context, and eventually they're forgotten. Conversations with AI are different. They're processed, analyzed, and turned into patterns. Recent reporting has shown that the real value isn't just what users say, but what systems can infer. Emotional states, habits, and vulnerabilities. A human friend forgets. A system learns. And when vulnerability becomes data, the balance of power quietly shifts. AI can be incredibly useful. It can support creativity, learning, and reflection. But friendship requires responsibility. And responsibility requires accountability. And that's why AI is not your friend. Not because it's dangerous, but because friendship was never something you could automate. If you found this video valuable, like it, share it, and subscribe for more content on how technology is shaping our lives. I'll see you in the next video.